What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Appreciate you joining us on the podcast this morning. I was kind of MIA for about a week and a half. I was out of the country, taking care of just a few things that we were supposed to take care of actually back in October when I had went to Istanbul, but now we've done it and I'm done with that. Can't wait to get to South Africa for sure. But while I was out, something just happened, and the Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, he is a liberal. He plans to retire in June. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, Jim Crow Joe has been doing very, very bad in the polls when it comes to black people. Black people have started to say even the hardcore voters in our community, the 50s and ups, who support the Democrat Party like a religion, they even said that they disappointed. They are upset. They say they ain't got nothing done at all for black people, which they're 100% right. I hate it took this much for them to even start opening their eyes, but it is what it is. Well, Biden, he come out saying that, I made a promise I was going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court. Okay. So let's get into this. So they're already talking about it. CNN is already pushing it. Oh, yeah, this is the black women. And let's put this up on the screen. You see that picture in itself. These are the black women that he is floating around to replace them. A Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, that particular sister herself, she's a D.C. Circuit judge, actually. Biden already put her once, appointing her last year to the U.S. Court of Appeals for D.C., which is considered the second most powerful federal court in the country. Previously, she served on the federal district court in D.C., and because of that appellate appointment, she had already been through a vetting process that includes the interview with the president himself. Fittingly, she clerked for Breyer and holds degrees from Harvard and Harvard Law. She also served as assistant federal public defender, making her the prime example of Biden's White House focus on appointing judges with backgrounds that are outside the typical prosecutor and for a big law box. Just giving y'all a little background on her. Now, it says she has ruled in high-profile cases, including the Don McGahn congressional subpoena lawsuit. And as an appellate judge, she signed on the recent opinion ordering the disclosure of Trump White House documents being sought by the House January the 6th committee. Now, it says Supreme Court declined Trump's request that he reverse the decision in order this Monday to allow the documents to be released. Now, another one they floating around is California Supreme Court Justice Leandra Kruger. Now, she's 45 years old. She's the youngest person on the list. She was appointed to the California Supreme Court when Governor Jerry Brown nominated her in 2014. They said that she also worked as a clerk for John Paul Stevens, a former justice of the Supreme Court who's passed away, serving as an acting deputy solicitor general in the Obama administration. And while the solicitor general's office, she urged 12 cases in front of the Supreme Court representing the government. It said at the Justice Department, she also earned the Attorney General's Award for exceptional service. It's the department's highest award for employee performance in 2013 and 2014. At the California Supreme Court, it says she also authored notable opinions on the Fourth Amendment, holding that law enforcement could not search a woman's purse without a warrant after she declined to provide a driver's license, and upholding a California law that requires law enforcement to collect DNA samples as well as fingerprints from all persons arrested for or convicted on felony convictions. Okay. The other lady up here is South Carolina U.S. District Court Judge J. Michelle Childs. Now, she's on the South Carolina federal court. It's said to have, now this is talking about old Clyburn here, talking about, hey, that will help boost him too if he brings her up to the court. Okay. Now, this woman herself, she's a graduate of the University of South Carolina School of Law. Is that Childs does not have an Ivy League pedigree shared by the other 8 of the 9 potential justices. And he said her cheerleaders have touted her public school education and other elements of her background as an advantage for Democrats. In the 2021 New York Times report. Okay. Other names being floated around: Sherilyn Eiffel. She's a civil rights attorney who is now planning to step down from her role as president and director counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. When have we seen the NAACP defend anybody? I'm serious. Like, there's a lot of people be having issues, and why can't black people go to the NAACP like they used to back in the day, and they would get the NAACP lawyers to defend them? If the NAACP lawyers would actually go out and defend people and just say, hey, we need to raise funds because we defending people in the community who don't have, good representation, I would be one of the main ones who want to donate to that. Because I'm saying, as lawyers for black people, we should have a pool we can pull from of lawyers, whether it's civil, criminal, etc., right? That can help people that's in need, and then the community donate to it. I don't see a problem with that, but that we just want to report the news as it is. Anita Earls, now she's a 61-year-old North Carolina Supreme Court Associate Justice, and she they say that she's 61. They say now her age, they say, would likely hamper serious consideration of Democrats looking to seat a younger nominee on the court. Another one, District Judge Wilhelmina. They say Mimi Wright. Boy, I ain't heard a name like Wilhelmina in so long, boy. They said now she's a judge on the Minnesota Federal District Court. I say whose consideration would likely please Senator Amy Klobuchar, the Minnesota Democrat who sits on the Judiciary Committee. Another one, Circuit Judge Eunice Lee. She's a former public defender in New York. They say who Biden nominated to the Second Circuit on the recommendation of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Another one is Circuit Judge Candace Jackson Akiwumi. She's an alumni of Chicago's Public Defender's Office, whose appointment by Biden to the Seventh Circuit was chaired by Senate Judiciary Chair Dick Durbin of Illinois. Now, this will give you a background just of a few of them there. But this is the issue here. This couldn't come at a better opportune time for Jim Crow Joe when he's hurting with black people. Now, if he appoints a black woman to the Supreme Court, okay, great. I'm not going to speak against it, but here's the problem. That's only one black person. She's replacing one liberal judge. It's still a conservative dominated court. Okay. When you say you're doing something for black people, here we go, going back to this symbolism thing. See, look, I put a black woman on the Supreme Court. That's doing something for black people. No, you're doing something for that one black person. And if they get on the Supreme Court, okay, great. I'm not going to speak against them. But what we're saying is, we want to put this out here now. CNN, MSNBC, this does not absolve you from doing something for black people. Black people are saying they need that police reform with their qualified immunity removed. That doesn't change the messaging. Black people are saying they need reparations. That doesn't change the messaging. Black people are saying that we need every kind of assistance that we need, whether it's student loans, whether it's down payment assistance for homes, so black people can actually get out of renting, at least trying to get on the pathway of home ownership, even though in America you really don't own anything. Because while I was sitting there in Istanbul one day, I was just thinking about how in America you really don't own anything, even if you are having a mortgage. A mortgage just give you more time before they want to put you out. But really, in America, we don't own a whole lot of things. That's a podcast for a different day, how we don't really own nothing in America, but it gives the illusion of ownership. But don't allow this to be more symbolism without substance. If he could put that woman on Supreme Court in June, great, no problem. But, it doesn't change the fact that you haven't done nothing for black people. So don't think that this justice retiring is your Hail Mary for the midterms. No, because there's going to be people like me and many others going to be out here to tell you that that's not going to work anymore. That symbolism without substance don't work. Because putting this sister on the Supreme Court, or whatever one of these sisters on the Supreme Court, is not going to even make the court balanced or even give you an advantage to, if you bring up a case with qualified immunity and trying to get rid of it, right? So it doesn't do anything. You still in the same position with the Supreme Court right now, okay? And right now, the conservative judges are Roberts, Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh, and Barrett. Now, them last three is what Trump put up there. And then, of course, Breyer, he been there a long time. Sotomayor, who Obama put up there. And I think, didn't he put Kagan up there too? I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, replacing her, with the sister with Breyer, for Breyer at least, it doesn't change the dynamics of the court. It's still a 6-3 majority conservative judges. So no, this does not do nothing for black people, because I already see what CNN is doing. Like I said, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them, we are subject to propaganda media. We're always being propagandized in America. We do not get no real news reporting. You get a little bit more news reporting. I'm gonna be honest with you, with CNN on CNN International. They may weave in some of their propaganda, but it's not as heavy as just CNN. Like the American media is so propagandized. I'm telling you, that is not real media what you watch. And every time I watch international media, yes, they all got their propaganda. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying CNN is the only one. But the reason why we mention CNN, because they so thick with it. Fox is so thick with it. I mean, come on. Like every freaking night, they pushing an agenda. You understand? And you can even hear, because you understand those journalists that you see are reading a teleprompter. They didn't write out their own stories. They talked about one of the writers for Tucker Carlson got caught up in some sort of racist situation. They write what he's going to say. He's just reading it. That's it. He's paid millions and millions of dollars to read something that comes from white supremacist think tanks. All of them. And the reason why I talk about Fox is Fox is the number one network. They are the number one out of everybody. And I'm the type of person, I say, okay, why are they number one? I'm a firm believer of study who's number one, number two, number three, what they're doing, how they're doing it, etc. It don't matter what industry that you're in. You always need to see who's the top dogs. Always. What they're doing, what they're not doing, what they could be doing. Could you mimic some of those things? You know what I'm saying? In your business. Now us over here, we got the consistency part down. We're definitely pretty consistent. Definitely on news, we are. Now we don't have the budget that they have, because the budget makes a big difference. But what I'm saying is that in America, you're propagandized. So you got to look toward, podcasts like ours, news platforms like we have, to give you some truth. Even when we're doing entertainment, we're not going to go out there and just give you some propaganda and entertainment. When we do that, we're going to talk about it and tell the truth on that too, because you don't lie. You don't lie. I mean, it costs people money when you lie. But with that being said, don't let them do this symbolism thing, because they're going to try. I'm telling you, that's the thing with this. This is Biden think this is going to be his Hail Mary to get out of from and I'm going to be honest, because I know my people. Some black folks, this may work for some. I'm not talking about those of you who listening to us. I'm not talking about you, because you the smarter people. But those that don't listen to us, those that listen to Roland Martin and all the bootlicks, you know what I'm saying? They're going to be pushing like, see, he doing something for black people. Roland, he doing something for black people. And then we going to speak against it in unison and saying this is not for black people. This is just symbolism. This is good for that one person. And shout out to them. Well, what more you want him to do? Every time he tries, it's not enough. You're right. It's not enough. It's not enough until he gives the collective of black people what we asking for. You're right. It's never going to be enough. Black people should never settle for what you don't ask for. That's like going to a restaurant. You want a certain particular food, and they say, I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to give you something else. Well, I didn't order that. Now, in a restaurant, you would deny that. You would say, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't. And what if the waitress would say, Well, I mean, I'm giving you some food. I mean, man, what you complaining for? You know, I mean, this is what we got to give you. We chose to give you. No, I wanted this particular dinner. I wanted the sea bass. You know, that's what I wanted. I don't want no freaking fried catfish. I wanted the grilled sea bass. Well, this is what we giving you. You should be happy. At least you're eating. No. Never accept any old thing. No, don't do that. Do not do that. If it's not the police bill, we're getting rid of qualified immunity. It's not reparations, for sure. And they talking about these voting rights, that voting rights thing. I'm already seeing the finesse on that, and I'm going to do another video about that. All these so-called immigration groups saying it'll be good for black people, this voting rights bill, because the immigrants going to help. Oh, no, it's not, because we know the game. We know the game. You always bring us into something. You get a bag, and then you separate yourself and talk about you Republican or whatever else you're talking about, and you like F black people. I got another video I'm going to cover too on my news channel. And shout out to this lady. She talks about how all these other groups, black people, always being brought up in a negative sense. When it comes to them folks, they not being brought up. And I'm going to talk about that on my news channel, though. You understand? No. We're not playing them games. No. You want something for, no, stop bringing our name up. Stop attaching our name with you. No. When you start bleeding like we bled, and when you start dealing with what we dealt with to get those actions, then I got nothing to say. But no, I'm sick about everybody piggybacking off of our blood, sweat, tears, and deaths for something. And then they get on and they're like, all right, forget black people. Because in the beginning, they ain't like black people no way. They only like you just so they can get a bag. But anyway, all this is symbolism, as we said before, without substance. Don't let them play this trick. Don't let CNN try to deceive you. MSNBC deceive you. They're going to try to deceive you thinking it's something for black people. Tell them this is not for black people at all. No, because 40 million black people are not going to benefit off of that one sister replacing another liberal. It's not going to change the dynamics of the court. And even if it did change the dynamics of the court, right? You know good and well the case is not going to benefit black people. No, No. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast today. You know, I'm doing a little bit later than when I normally do it, but like I said, I had a 13-hour flight, so I was tired. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I had got back. I'm the type of person when I get back, I gotta unload all my suitcases. I gotta do it. I can't. Some people say, "Oh, I'll just take a shower and go to bed." I do it in the morning. I'm not doing nothing in the morning. I'm the type I have to do everything right then and there. So once I did everything, got all the suitcases unloaded, put everything back up like we normally put everything up. Went to sleep, thank God. And then now I'm up. So I said the first thing I need to jump on is this podcast. So we definitely appreciate everybody. Make sure you subscribe and definitely click the like button. We appreciate it. All our people, definitely donating to our campaign, which we're going to wrap up here shortly. It's not going to be a forever campaign. But, like I said, we can also do a constant campaign. It don't matter. And I think I had one genius saying, when you going to end it? Like, I don't have to end it if I don't want to. And people like that means you don't support what we got going on at all. And I usually block people like that. I don't argue with people like that at this point in time, because like I said, they never tell white folks when they going to end anything, right? But once again, like I said, we back. So we back on to our daily podcast. I'm back in the studio in Babylon. And, like I said, I'm always happy to when I come back and I got a little bit more energy to do a whole lot more things. So thank you for listening and see you next time.